Hi, everybody. I'm coming to you here live from my office here on campus, and we're having some issues today. So I'm so sorry for the interruption to our normal schedule. I miss our chance to have our live stream and to hear from all of you and see your names in the chat and interact with your questions and so on. But apparently a rat chewed through one of the cables in the HSS building where I have my office and most of my classes. And so the internet connection here has been spotty at best, and the Wi-Fi is not strong enough to let me go onto Twitch to do a live stream. So I'm recording this video in substitution of the live stream this week, and hopefully by next week everything will be fixed. Who knew a rat could cause so many issues, right? But hopefully by next Thursday morning everything will be ironed out, and we can go back to our normal Twitch schedule. So I'm sorry for the change this week. You can still do the extra credit. I will still give you the extra credit question today, and that will allow you to still earn those points, and you obviously don't have to worry about putting your name in the chat since there is no chat to do today. So what I want to do, the same thing that I would normally do, I just won't have a chance to interact with you live. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any point after this or later in the week, and I'd be happy to answer it. So I just want to give you a little bit of feedback from last week, and then we'll go over the materials that are due for this week, like always, and then I'll give you the extra credit question and some quick reminders. So last week for week number 5, we were going over consciousness, one of my favorite topics, as I shared with you. And you had an opportunity to think a little bit about your dreams. And so for last week, I had you read that dream article, describing a dream, linking it to a couple of the dream theories, and then talking about why you personally think that we dream. And a lot of you did a beautiful job. I enjoyed reading about your dreams. I enjoyed your thoughts on where dreams come from, kind of all over the place. The biggest thing that I saw, a few of you lost points for not giving me enough, right? And I tried to give you this little hint when we were talking about it last week, but some of you said like, oh, it relates to dream theory 1 or dream theory 2, and you didn't really describe the theory enough to show me that you understood it or could connect it to your dream. So if you lost points, that was really the number one reason that people did lose points. A couple of people forgot to answer this question. I don't know if maybe you didn't see it at the bottom, but for the most part, a lot of you did fantastic. Beautiful job describing your dreams, talking about the dream theories, how they all connect together. Really interesting. Some of you even went on the dream websites that I gave you, dreammoods.com and sleeps.com. And talked about some of the symbolic meanings. Again, I love dream interpretation. I think that dreams can be super, super meaningful at times and totally random at others. So I hope you enjoyed the opportunity to think about this a little bit more. Please don't forget to respond to a classmate. Some of you are still not doing this. It's worth 2 points, and I will continue to remind you every week, just in hopes that that you start doing that regularly. So most of you did a beautiful job. We move on this week from consciousness, but one last thing from last week. A lot of you did complete the self-assessment, which was worth 5 points. Thank you for your honesty. Several of you said that you wish you had studied more, that you didn't study enough, and I greatly appreciate your honest reflection on that. Some of you said the study guide was really helpful. A lot of reflection on the amount of time that you're spending. Again, always use your opportunities in this class, your assignments, as a learning opportunity. So if you're not doing as well as you would like, try and change things up a little bit. But a lot of you are doing fantastic, and your scores are definitely reflecting that. So thank you for your honesty and for sharing your thoughts and for sharing your dreams. Right, a lot of fun for me to read. So this week we move on to week 6 and chapter 6. And I will give you the heads up that this is one of the more challenging topics that we cover in this class. Learning has a lot of terminology in it, and that terminology can sometimes be a little bit confusing. So I gave you lots and lots of examples in the lecture and in these materials here, hoping to make it a little more accessible to you. So make sure that you read chapter 6 in the ebook. I think that's a great place to start. You can read all about my mother-in-law food poisoning me with chili. Fun update for you. Last week, she food poisoned the whole family with chicken and potatoes. So it's ongoing. I've been with my partner now for like 19 years, and she's food poisoned me at least 10 times, maybe more. Last week, she didn't cook the chicken enough, and we all got violently sick. So Wednesdays are often a bad day. She cooks for us on Wednesday, though yesterday she just brought us fast food. So maybe she's learning, I don't know. But make sure you read the chapter. I gave you some examples related to that and others. Then you'll want to read through the lecture that's on here. So as always, you have the objectives and summary, which you can listen to or read. The Beyond the Book page, I have a little video here of Pavlov's experiment. I think it's a great introduction to it. A little bit about Watson and little Albert, or baby Albert, as he became known. In pop culture, there's lots of great examples of this in pop culture. A fun example from the Big Bang Theory about conditioning with rewards and punishment. And then an example from The Office, which we'll look at for the discussion this week. On the next page, these are the terms that you'll need to know for the exam. So if you wanted to be studying as we go along, these are the terms to study from chapter 6 on learning. And I also made a video here going over the differences between classical and operant conditioning. And this could be a helpful quick review for you as well. On the last page, a little bit about application. So here we have some information on how to use conditioning in your life, some kind of practical applications, which might be helpful for the discussion. And then this little video, I went over it in the lecture video, but this will come back for our Twitch extra credit this week. So this is where you can find that video right here, Attack of the Quack. And you'll be answering a question on that for extra credit if you're interested, which I'll give you in a few minutes. You'll also want to watch the lecture video, of course, if you click on lecture video here. It's a Zoom link because I did show some outside clips in there, so I couldn't post it on YouTube. But make sure you're watching this, taking notes. The materials on here will definitely appear on the exam. And it should be really, really helpful for you in understanding the lecture content for this week. Again, a little bit harder of a topic, and I did give you lots of examples and try and walk you through it in the lecture video. For the discussion this week, discussion number 6, can't believe we're in week number 6 already. Discussion number 6, you're going to be looking at classical conditioning a little bit more. So make sure you watch my brief introductions video, and then you're going to read through my questions and answer them, along with reading through a minimum of 5 of your classmates and replying to one of them. As always, this is worth 15 points, 13 for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your responses to a classmate. But I have a little clip here from The Office, which was also in the lecture. Great pop culture example of conditioning in the form of a prank. So you're going to want to watch this brief clip. It's only a minute long. You might need to watch it more than once, but it's there for you. And then once you have finished the clip, you're going to think about the content that we covered on classical conditioning. And I want you to explain the process of how Jim was able to condition Dwight. Reference the appropriate terminology. You should be talking about like acquisition and pairing and so on, things from the chapter in order to show me that you understand the process. In the clip, you are going to identify the US, UR, CS, and CR. You're not defining them, you're identifying them in the clip. So in this office clip, what is the unconditioned stimulus, the unconditioned response, the conditioned stimulus, and the conditioned response? And I would ask you, but you're not able to respond live, so I will just remind you, it is always best, as I talked about in the lecture, to start with the CS. Start with the conditioned stimulus. Ask yourself, in the office clip, what was it that started out kind of neutral or meaningless that now has meaning attached to it? And then what is the response that he has at the end, which also gives you this one, and then what originally caused that response, which is the unconditioned stimulus. Finally, other than amusing pranks, which can obviously be fun, but other than pranks, how could you use this concept of classical conditioning either on yourself or someone else in your personal, academic, or social life? Be specific. Make sure that your example is classical conditioning. If you use the phrase or term reinforcement or rewarding or punishing, you're in operant conditioning. So make sure that you think about how could you use classical conditioning in your life in some way. Describe it to me. What are the different elements of it? This is where people tend to lose points on this last bullet. So I'm giving you that heads up now. Make sure that it's classical conditioning, make sure that you're specific, and that you describe the different elements of it to me. When you're ready, you'll hit reply right here to answer that. And then you can also reply to one of your classmates. Quite a few of you have done this already, as it's already Thursday in the week. So don't forget to do that. That is one of your big tasks for this week, your big source of points. There's also an extra credit question, which I'll give you here in just a moment. So, but don't forget to read the textbook, the ebook, watch and read through the lecture, click on any links, watch any videos that I include. Don't forget to go through the chapter 7 lecture video and take notes. Discussion number 7 that we went, discussion number 6 that we just went over. It took me to the wrong chapter. And then as far as a couple of reminders and extra credit, next week we will have our live stream at our normally scheduled day and time. So next Thursday morning, right, Thursday the 24th at 11 o'clock. And hopefully everything will be working. If it's not, I will let you know and we'll go from there. But please make sure you're on here with me if you can on Thursday the 24th at 11. And we'll go over all the materials for week number 7. Also, please make sure a lot of you, I mean like more than half of you, fell off with your Twitch subscription this week. So please make sure that you go back onto Twitch and resubscribe for another 30 days for free. You're going to have to do this a couple more times throughout the semester. It really saves me just an astronomical amount of time. So thank you to those of you who have done that. Sometime before I see you on there next week, please make sure that you go back and go ahead and take care of that so that you still have that subscription status. And then as far as the extra credit for this week, here is your question. Your question is right here. I put it in type so that it would be easier for you to see. I want you to watch that Attack of the Quack clip. I showed it in the lecture, but it's also on the last page of our Canvas lecture, as I just showed you a moment ago. And when you're done, identify the US, UR, CS, and CR in that clip. Again, you're not defining those terms, you're identifying them. And always start with the CS. That's going to be your easiest way to go about this. So watch that quick Attack of the Quack video. It's only about a minute and a half. And then you're going to identify these 4 components on Canvas. So you don't need to worry about putting your name in the comments or in the chat since there is no chat. But when you're ready to answer that, you'll go right here to extra credit number 6. Click on that. And then you will click at the top on Start Assignment, which will allow you to type your response. Your response right here in the box. Again, identifying those 4 components. And then you'll hit Submit and get your confetti burst. And let's see, those medals. In my last class, it was pandas. So you get little gold medals for answering it. So this is due anytime before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. along with the other materials for week number 6. Monday is a holiday. So we don't have class on Monday if you were meeting in person. I want to give you the heads up that I likely will not grade this week's materials until Tuesday. Since Monday's a holiday, we are going out of town. I'm taking my little ones to Las Vegas on Sunday and Monday, and we'll be back on Tuesday. So we're going to see Blue Man Group, which should be great fun. They have wanted to see it for years, and we booked it years ago, and it's been rescheduled a million times, and we are finally getting to go this weekend. So I likely will not grade anything until Tuesday, since Monday's a holiday. So don't worry if you don't see grades in an email from me on Monday. I will get to it likely on Tuesday evening and Tuesday during the day. All right, so I think that is everything for this week. Don't forget to do all these materials, the extra credit. Again, I'm so sorry for the disruption in our Twitch sessions. Hopefully the cable will be fixed. Stinking rats, right? They ruin everything. I have 3 rats at home, but they wouldn't chew through a cable. But just their cage to get to food. So get going on this week's materials, and I will hope to see you all next Thursday at 11 for our normal Twitch live stream. So take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next week.